Hello and welcome to Front Row Racing's World Series. It's round 7, it's Canada, Montreal in Canada at the Cirque Gilles Villeneuve, a fantastic racetrack, and we could be in for a very interesting session here today. Now, I'm from Row Racing DP, otherwise known as Dave Lazy in Beds, which is what I did for most of today. I'm joined in the commentary box once again by Steve Sherberts. How are you today, Steve?
Not too bad. I'm just looking at the forecast for today, and it's a 4-letter word.
Oh, that is true. It is a 4-letter word, although it is showing sunny at the moment. But that 4-letter word is rain, and if we look, the temperature is dropping, and it does say rain likely after a dry start.
That's a very high track temperature. I don't know what that's going to make to the difference with the tyres, but that is something I've not seen around here before.
That is true. That is an extremely high tyre temperature, but it does seem like it could be dropping fairly quickly. So it looks like we could be in for a dry qualifying, but potentially rain. It is saying that the race could be dry to start with. Okay, a couple of things to go through before we actually sort of go and get on with the action on the track. A couple of notifications. Rickster, the current championship leader, has informed us today he's not been able to make it to the race. So he's going to lose his championship lead here potentially with him not being able to make it, because he didn't let us know until today, till race day. No reserve has been made available. Asa Mortars let us know that he's no longer going to be able to race on Thursdays due to other commitments. So there is an opportunity in the very near future for some of the FRRI Days reserve drivers to take a place there. Now, having mentioned that, Andy Russell, who has raced a few times as a reserve, has proven himself and is now in permanently for Lotus. And then Night Walker, his PlayStation is still dead, so he's not with us. And unfortunately, I have to admit, I made a bit of a mistake there in that I didn't arrange for a reserve for him. So I do apologise to Nightwalk on that one. That was my bad.
No, that was not your bad. That was...
No, you got that wrong. No, it wasn't my bad. It was your bad.
It was your bad.
Yeah. Okay. That's obviously because we've got my bad on track. Okay, next notification. WTJ Bullock is not with us again, but has not let us know about this week, so no reserve for him. So we have got a slightly shortened grid today. Also because Richie Davey has received a race ban for actions on track last week. Okay, so to the action today then. Montreal, Steve?
Yes.
Any predictions for who's going to be on pole position around this tricky circuit, as Conzo goes a little excessive on the final corner there?
One prediction, it won't be Rich Davey.
True.
I think I might be right with that one.
Yep.
Because we've not got Rickster, I only think it can be one man at this point. That's Connor.
Connor, really? I thought you might have said Paul. You see, now we're on board with Connor at the moment, and he hasn't qualified. I suppose you could say he hasn't qualified well, or he's qualified tactically, but his races have been fairly damn good of late. I actually would have probably gone with Paul, but then there is the possibility of Killer Corkin throwing a spanner in the works for a couple of the guys here. Another notification actually to mention, incidents from last week's race at Monaco. There was an incident at turn 1 where one driver has nudged the back of another one and put them into the wall at turn 1, and because of that he is going to receive a qualifying ban for this event, and that is a razor. Now we're on board with my bad here because Steve has just pointed out to me that he's actually currently on pole position with a 1:13.8, but I think pole time around here is going to be mid to high 12s.
It should be mid to high 12s.
Yeah. Oh, Jim's taking too much curb there. He is going to have to be careful of that. But, I mean, he is new to racing around Montreal.
Killer's just done his first lap, and Killer's not beat Jim's time. Killer's on a 13.9.
So Killer's got a little bit of pace to find. All right.
Charlie has just done purple sector 1.
Charlie has done a purple sector 1. I'm riding on board with Paul, though. I want to see what his sector 1 is. His sector 1 is slow. Let's go and see if we can find Charlie then. So on board with Charlie. Oh, he's taken too much corner at turn 3 there. They're going to have to be careful of that. Now, Charlie had a very interesting race at Monaco last week. Now holds the record for most number of pit stops in a race, most number of wings used, also probably the most times reusing sets of option tyres. But he also earns a lot of respect from racing, not for that corner there though. He earns a lot of respect because he never gave up.
Yep.
In previous seasons he would have just given it up, but he didn't. He went to the end, he made it to the end and scored a fairly decent amount. Well, fairly decent, he scored points, better than those who didn't make it to the end.
That's what you want as a team player. When you've got a team working together, you've got one guy trying to win the championship and then you've got another guy just bringing in the points, so you've got a chance for the constructors as well.
Exactly. Although Charlie may feel that he's actually got half a chance with speed to actually fight for a championship if he could have the luck. He's gone fastest with a 12.9, although he's going to have to be a little bit careful with some of his lines. Killer Corkin then. Now, we haven't mentioned tyres yet. We've got the red marked option tyre, the super soft, and the yellow marked soft tyre, which is the prime tyre. How do you think those tyres are going to fare in the event today?
Well, with the nature of this circuit, both tyres are actually very, very similar to drive on. You don't really notice too much difference between the two sets of tyres, apart from maybe about 7/10 to a second in time difference in race pace. The main difference comes in how long those prime tyres will last, because those prime tyres can last a hell of a long time around here.
They can, yeah. I mean, strategy is going to be very interesting for all of the drivers here. And we've got a bit of a lag going on with Adam here, which is not good. I hope he reloaded his game beforehand. I did notify all the drivers to do so. Now, we've got a lot of messages coming through on Twitch at the moment, and I believe we've got Rachel Brooks down in the pit lane for us this week. How are you, Ray?
I'm fine, how are you?
Oh, I'm not too bad, thank you. Anything going on Twitch at the moment? If people are watching Twitch, you are more than welcome to send a message. If we can get to read it, we will do and respond where we can. Okay, go on then.
Just Don's hoping for one of his minions on pole.
So Dom thinks one of his minions is going to end up on pole. That's quite funny he says minions, because obviously we were talking earlier. I said that instead of it being hashtag Team Dom, it should be Dom. And you said it should be Dom's minions. But I don't think they should allow his name to be in it. Because
also Dom has said that Tony's penalty was a big sausage. BS, big sausage.
Oh right, a big sausage. Oh right, okay. Well, the thing is, people may not understand it, but obviously in previous seasons we have been quite harsh to a degree about first corner incidents, because first corner incidents can ruin people's events. Excuse me. And what we implied for the rules this season was that if at the first corner you crashed into someone and you gave them their position back, you would incur no penalty for that event. But what would happen is you would get a qualifying ban for the next event. That's your penalty. So you can avoid a penalty for that event by doing the right thing, backing off, giving the position back. But your penalty will be qualifying ban in the next event. And that's exactly what a Razor did. Oh, Andy Russell, that's a wing on, that is. So the first wing on at the Wall of Champions for Andy Russell. He's going to have to be careful now, because his car's going to handle absolutely terribly. He just needs to try and get it back to the pit lane.
Just point out that Killer has gone round again, but he's not beaten Charlie's time. He's beaten Jim's time, but not Charlie's.
That is true. Now, I actually jokingly said that Jim may get a win here, and he's like, no chance. But sitting in third place, he's going to be feeling fairly happy at the moment. Okay, there was something else I was going to mention, and I can't remember what it was. Oh, that was it. Was talking about first corner collisions. So yeah, for a Razor, yes, it may seem a bit harsh, but actually he did the right thing by backing off, and that's why he doesn't get the penalty imposed on any time penalty on that event. The penalty comes in the form of a qualifying ban. Now, had a Razor made that contact and just driven on, then he would get a penalty for that collision in that event if the game
hadn't given him one.
yeah, and then also a qualifying ban, which yes may seem harsh, but it's always been in the aim of reducing those first corner incidents. Now, there's something else I was going to mention as well. I mean, what we've tried to do in front of our racing a few times is try different types of penalties for different incidents and try doing things different ways, because it takes time on occasion to work out which way works the best. But sometimes you have to say, okay, as the admins, as a group, say, right, how about this as an idea, or how about this, how about that? And we come together and go, okay, yeah, we'll give that one a go, and we'll see how we get on with it. Okay, Jason was on the prime tyre, I think. He's now moved on to the options, so currently saying 8th place, so we'll see what he can do. But he is currently on an out lap. So is Charlie. My bad, just gone through sector 1 with a 21.8, and it's not an improvement on his sector 1. Paul, he's just gone pole position. Have missed it. I do apologise about that, but he has just gone pole position and now backed off.
We've got no other cars going for a lap at the moment.
Okay, Jason
should be setting up for him.
Yep, Jason is about to start a flying lap. Now, he had his best race of his front row racing career last week in Monaco, and I was so pleased that I was actually able to get him in for a late podium interview. I actually said to you that I'd send you the clip of the test recording that I did with Jason. And it went, and I'd never actually sent to you, but it kind of went like this, because Jason was concerned because he doesn't speak the best of English. So anyway, I call him on Skype, and I thought I'll be nice, you know, I'll go on Google Translate, learn a bit of Swedish, say hello in Swedish, and he's like, hello Dave, how are you? I was like, oh, hang on, so your English is pretty good then. Well, I don't think it is very good. I said, hang on a minute, you're like, is this one of those Luis Suarez moments? And he's like, I don't know. I said, well, Luis Suarez comes and plays in the Premier League and won't do an interview because he keeps going, I speak no English, I speak no English, I speak no English. And then all of a sudden one day he gets caught out and he goes, oh yes, well, when I was young, I decided I was going to play football. And I realised I was actually pretty good at it, you know. And as I got older, I realised that I could dribble past one player rather easily, nutmeg a second player. The third player, I just smile at him and he runs away. And the goalkeeper, when I get close to him, I just chatter my teeth, and he's afraid I'm going to bite him, and then I can score a goal easily. So, alright, so your English is alright then. So Jason puts in his lap time of a 1:16.8. He admitted himself he's not the fastest, but he works on consistency, which at Monaco worked beautifully for him, and around here could also do the same.
But around here you do need to have raw pace as well.
You do need to have speed within your car, whether it be through setup or ability. You do need some inherent speed within the car. But this is a track where traction is vital here. The braking zones aren't necessarily the heaviest of braking zones, but the traction zones are critical. Now these guys are... yeah, we have spotted that one. Ray just said Paul's in first. He's on the beers, he's obviously got a bit of a delay. I forgot what I was saying now, you bugger. Let's go and see if we can find Paul. Paul's not on track at the moment.
Charlie's on track.
And so is Andy Russell. So he's had his wing changed. He's going through sector 1.
He's just leaving the pits.
Okay, so Andy was slightly down on his sector 1 time. Charlie's done a fairly good sector 1 time there with a 21.1. That's currently the fastest sector 1 time that's been posted as someone's fastest lap. Let's see how he gets on. 23.7 in the second sector. He's lost a lot there. He's lost a huge amount in that second sector. Oh, and Charlie, that's disgraceful. That needs a back off, that does. And he may have done, I'm not sure. It's a 13.1. He's not actually improved on his own lap time. So
the thing with that is, though, it carries the speed into the next lap.
It does.
So even though the ETL is on the previous lap, it can still benefit from it, and that's what he's got to be careful of.
Oh, Charlie.
Charlie. Oh,
okay,
yeah.
He has backed off. I'll give him that one, but that is not the way to take that particular corner. No, he has backed off on that one. Okay, Killer Corkin then, his previous sector 1 of 21.6, and it's not showing me the sector time for him here, which is a little frustrating. He could be on an out lap, but it actually looks more like he's on a flying lap. Now on board with Connor, 21.5 for sector 1 so far. Let's see how he does as he gets around this corner. Going to need a low 21. It's a 21.3. That's a good first sector time. Actually, the fastest first sector time apart from Charlie's. Yeah. Okay, 3 minutes left of the session as Connor then heads up towards turn 10, the hairpin, or the corner where Robert Kubica famously crashed right here. I mean, that was a guy that was a very, very fast race driver, but also had the most dramatic of crashes. Connor's down in sector 2 by a long way there. That's not a very good sector 2. He's down by 6/10 on his own previous best lap.
We've got Rich Davey on the Twitch.
Oh dear, go on.
No, we're just saying good evening to Rich Davey.
Alright, good evening Richie. You can keep an eye out for ETLs, be our guest. Okay, so Connor then goes up to 5th place. Okay, have we got anyone set in purples at the moment? It doesn't look like it, but let's go and have a look around. I've got a feeling that Adam 4600 may have terminally damaged his car.
Oh, let's have a look at the rest.
I could be wrong. It may. I don't know. Okay, Andy Russell then. Sector 1 is down a little bit on where he ideally would like to be. Sector 2, that's not too bad. Currently sat in 7th place. Could do with finding a little bit of speed down this straight and see if he can just bump himself up a little bit. Okay, I mean this is a fantastic long straight going into a tricky couple of corners, but when you get these corners right, they are beautiful. Up close to the wall of champions, oh nearly too close. Okay, heading to the line. What time will it be? It's only going to be a 14.9, stays in 7th place. Okay, on board with Paul then. Current best sector 1's a 21.2 by the looks of it. Currently sat on provisional pole position. Nice line through 3 and 4. Now that's turn 4 exit wall is a corner that we named some time ago. Obviously around here you got the wall of champions at the final corner. The exit wall at turn 4 we named the wall of rookies.
Yeah, and just looking at it, it seems that Adam, we lost him in sector 3, so was that the wall of champions?
Oh, it could have been. Oh, Paul's wide, he's into the wall, and that's a wall that I said we're going to call the wall of nookies, because if you get in it, you're getting screwed, as Paul has just proven here. Okay, Charlie then heading up to the line. He's going to get one more lap in after this. It's a 1:13.2. He's still not been able to improve. Killer Corkin heading up to the line. It's been a slow lap. It's a 15.0, but he's going to be able to get a flying one. Now, was it Killer? No, you said Konzo for pole position, didn't you? I said it. I reckon it would be Paul.
He's letting me down a little bit at the moment.
He is, but I wonder whether Konzo's just gone perhaps with a slightly higher aerodynamic setup in the hope of being stronger in the race, but his session is over. Okay, on board with Jason then as he heads up towards the final corners. Can he improve on his 8th place?
It's not a bad starting position at the moment from Jim. At the moment he's in 4th.
Jim will be absolutely buzzing starting in 4th place. He would have been expecting to be way down at this point. Charlie in 2nd place though. All he needs to do is keep it clean at the start of the race, and he's got half a chance of taking it to Paul here.
Well, has he? Oh wait, is that the pit he's going for now? He's going for the corner.
No, he's continued on his lap
pole?
then.
Can he get pole?
He can't.
No, not this time.
He can't. Killer Corkin then. Currently 3rd place. Is he going to improve at all? Takes the tight line to the line, and no, it's 3rd place for Killer. So here we have then the qualifying result. Obviously we shortened the grid today, so Paul takes pole position by 2/10, Killer Corkin in 3rd, My Bad in 4th, Konzo 5th, Adam 4600 in 6th, Andy Russell in 7th, Jason in 8th, and a Razor no time set with his qualifying penalty. Right, quick look at the old race director. We've got 2 invalidated lap times here by drivers that have left the track. We've got My Bad exceeding track limits, Charlie with a couple of warnings, Andy Russell with a couple. I think one of Andy's may have been from when he'd lost his wing, because when you lose your wing there is much more of a chance of going straight on. So the drivers are going to have to be very, very careful of the lines they're using in the race. And the last thing they want to do is feel the wrath of the stewards. Okay, we'll take a moment then as we get ready for the race. Do you want to make any predictions for the victor of the race?
I was going to stick with Connor, but I'm not confident now after seeing his qualifying, so I'm going to have to change it and go with Paul, who was my pick of the season at the start of the season.
Do you know what I'm going for?
Killer.
A razor.
A razor from the back.
A razor from the back.
Will he go primes at the start?
Possibly. If he can keep his nose clean, he's got a chance. Because with a shortened grid and a track you can overtake on, there is every possibility of gaining places here.
But if he's got a Dom settle, will that hinder him? Because... well, then again, I'm being harsh. Dom finished second yesterday. All credit to him. He had a good race.
Yeah, that's true, he did.
So I've got to stop making jokes about Dom because he's doing well.
No, we've got to keep winding him up.
Yeah, keep winding him up.
Yeah.
He doesn't know how many things the steward's seen yet.
That's
anyway.
true. Okay, now a razor is going to obviously start behind myself, Steve and Ray here, so we are going to try and move out of the way a bit for him, and we are going to have to be... oh, he's in front of us apparently, so we're okay there, but we are obviously still going to have to be careful of our cars heading off down to turn 1. Okay then, so it's time for the Front Row Racing World Series round 7 at Canada. We're on 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. It's time to go. We'll give him a moment and then we're going to retire, and let's hope to Lord, I don't know why I said Lord because I don't really believe in him, we don't have any drama at turn 1. We're on board with Connor, who's down to 7th place. He's had a terrible start in one way or another, so he's lost places at the start. A razor is right there in 9th place, so can he work his way through the field to the front? Now, it's not letting me ride on board with Paul at the moment, but Paul's got every opportunity here of pulling away early on and never being seen again.
Well, let's hope that Charlie doesn't use up as many wings as he did last week, because I don't think McLaren can afford too many more.
No, that is true. With their current financial potential difficulties and lack of sponsors, carbon fibre has become very, very expensive. Okay, Jimmy at 3rd place, but he's gone deep. He's gone very deep. He's in the wall. Is that any damage? He's got Adam 4600 all up.
He may have got away with that one.
It does look like he may have got away with that one, but Adam 4600 is now right behind him with Slipstream. No DRS yet until lap 3. Adam's trying to look, but he realises the move is not on. No, he's going for it. Side by side and contact. And they both managed to stay out of the wall. Oh, that was close.
Overtake for the lead. Charlie's overtook Paul in the lead. Paul's coming back at him into turn 2. And Charlie's holding that tight line. Can he keep it into turn 3? Come on, guys, keep it clean. Keep it clean.
Side by side on the way in. Oh, close on the way out. Charlie's just clipped the wall, though.
But that's how you take those corners without contact. Respect the other guy's going to be there, or could be there.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. You've got a car next to you. You've got to give him room. Now, okay, Charlie's ended up clipping the wall, and that's always a possibility at this track. But, I mean, you give a bit of room and you just see how you get on. But that, I'm wondering whether Paul perhaps had a bit of a moment at the final chicane. Oh, Charlie's sideways. Too much curb there.
I mean, there could be a number of things. It could be Charlie's got a more straight line setup. It's more suited for the straight line, or is it that Charlie took a Charlie line through the last corners? We're going to have to be a little bit careful and maybe have a look for that on this next lap.
Well, we'll see if he gains in the slipstream here. It is possible that he's gone with a slightly slippier car setup here, although he doesn't really seem to be gaining too much at the moment. I think it's close though for 3rd and 4th as well. Paul's got a good line. Oh, Charlie, that's way too much curb through that final corner. There's way too much curb. We've definitely got a move going on behind. Oh no, Adams had to back out of it.
We've got Paul telling Charlie to go away in a not very nice, polite way.
Just tell you what, do us a favour. Just go over the microphone to the drivers and just give them a quick warning, will you, about track limits there.
Any particular corner?
The final corner. Oh, I've just seen a car going a little bit wide. Oh, it's a Razor. We got front wing on. It's Adam 4600, or is that Andy Russell? It's Andy Russell. No, that's not a start that he would have wanted. He now needs to try and recover it back to the pit lane. It's a shame that it didn't happen at the hairpin, because then you've only got a straight line to do. He's going to struggle here and straight across the corner. Not a surprise that with no front wing. So Andy Russell's going to have to head straight into the pits then. Jason's on the prime tyre. I think he's quite far behind. I'm wondering whether he's had damage on the first couple of laps, but he's now on the prime tyre.
I'm sorry, I've just seen Charlie take even more curve than he did last time.
Okay, so we've just heard what the co-commentator said there. Now, it's okay being competitive, but you've got to make sure that you do keep it on the racetrack. So the battle's still going on, and to a degree this will bug Paul if he's ahead and he feels that he's faster and Charlie keeps gaining in that final corner. Now, it could just be that Charlie's getting the corner wrong. I mean, he could be lifting off, but we're not seeing it at the moment. But he is now dropping off a bit. I think he's had a bit of a moment on a curb there and has now backed off. But yeah, I mean, as a driver, I mean, when you're driving along and you've got a car behind you or a car ahead of you, and you can see that clearly they're off the track, it gets frustrating, doesn't it?
It does. It's almost at the point where you feel that you've got to do it as well.
Yeah.
Because you get roped into it. They're doing it, so you're going to do it. But that's what you've really got to try and avoid doing yourself, because you've got to keep it clean. And if you get it on your footage, if you take footage, you can always pass your footage on to the stewards. They might not be able to do anything about it on this race.
Yeah.
But a polite word to that driver saying, "Come on, guy, you've got to be careful." And
yeah.
I'm not saying Charlie's known for it, but that's the corner he's done it again on.
Yeah.
And the stewards know Charlie. I'm not saying because he's done it too many times in the past, but it's somebody that the stewards have spoken to, and he does know the rules.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the things, I mean, you mentioned about it could tempt a driver to say, well, I'm going to do it as well, but that's where the key is to go no, because if the stewards deal with it and take and sort it out, then that driver won't have gained. And that's the kind of the important part of it. So anyway, back to the action then. For third place, we've got My Bad and 4600 battling for the final spot on the podium. These are probably two guys that wouldn't have thought that they would have been battling for this position. Konza is in fifth, with Killer Corkin and a Razor behind him. A Razor has started on the prime tyres, I believe, so he's going to be going either long at the start for a one stop, or he's going to be going for a two stop, and that's something we haven't discussed yet, is strategies. One stops are possible, two stops quicker.
Yeah.
So it's a case of
quite close.
It's a case of do they attack with a two stop or not? Okay, looks like Adam 4600 has made his way through into third place, but he's given the Wall of Champions a little bit of a clip there. And behind, it looks like we may have a move going on. Konzo all over the back of Killer Corkin. Both of these guys in the Red Bull. Now, if Connor feels that he's faster at the moment, will he be sat there thinking, come on, Killer, let me through, let me through? Personally, though, you let the drivers race, especially if they're on the same tyres, the same strategies.
So who's the number one driver out of these two, would you say, Connor or Killer?
Well, it's an interesting one, that. I mean, Connor's been in since the start of the season.
Yes.
And has, I'm trying to think if it's one or two race victories, I can't remember off the top of my head. Killer does have the one race victory, but at the end of the day it goes on whoever's got the most points, and at the moment it's Connor who's in second place in the championship standings. A fair few points ahead of Killer, but Killer was a late arrival.
They're both on different tyres.
They are. Connor's on the prime tyre. So on the prime tyre, Connor has got the speed to stay with Killer Corkin here.
And this is what I was saying about the difference with these tyres is very, very minimal. Now, maybe Connor can be running rich to keep up with him at this point in time on the slightly slower tyre, but there's not that much of a difference in these tyres. It's probably the closest there is throughout all of the races.
I mean, we noticed it in the race yesterday that when drivers were on the opposite tyres, they weren't pulling out big gaps. Or, I mean, I had Dom, for example, quite close behind me on the prime tyres for 4 or 5 laps. Then I was able to pull out a gap. when I was on the prime tyres, I was able to stay with him. So there is little margin, especially if you can stay within the slipstream, because if you can stay within that second to get to the DRS zone, then you've got every chance of staying with them through sector 1 and 2. Now we're on lap 7. Potential pit stop window opens between laps 9 and 12 for a 2-stop, and for a 1-stop they'll be taking options to about 15 or primes. Oh, Connor!
I don't know if that was actually real or not.
I think that was just a bit of lag there.
I saw that on your screen, but not on mine.
Okay, right. Eraser looks like he's dropping off a little bit at the moment. He's also on the prime tyres, but he's definitely dropped off a bit from Connor, so perhaps his tyres are starting to struggle. Andy Russell, he's had to replace his wing, gone to the prime tyre. That was on about lap 3, so he's just going to have to try and take those tyres as long as they will go. Jason is a few corners behind him. I do think there must have been something that happened with Jason early on to have put him this far behind.
Or is it the fact that he's on the prime tyre? Did he start on the options? Or did he start on the primes and that's what's...
I'm not entirely sure which he did start on.
I'll have a look to see how many drivers have done pit stop.
Okay. So riding on board with Paul then, in the middle of sector 2. He's still got Charlie behind him, so yeah, Jason has pitted.
And Andy Russell, because he lost his wing as well.
Yeah, so it looks like those two will have started on the option tyre and gone to the primes. And Eraser Conzo. Oh, Paul's gone wide. He's gone deep at the hairpin. That's going to give Charlie a little bit of confidence there. But Charlie's going to need to make sure that he's reeled in his racing lines at the moment, because if he's got the genuine speed to stay with Paul here, he's got a chance.
Paul has just asked Jim when he's planning on pitting, so obviously they don't pit at the same times. Paul hasn't said when he's going to pit, but I've just found out that Jim's going to be going for lap 12 and then hopefully lap 24, so Jim is going for a 2-stop.
And now you've just gone and told Dom, because Jim's got Killer Corker behind him.
Yes, but we don't know what Paul's doing.
That is true.
It's our job to commentate, so we've
that is true.
The information that we know.
Okay, so Jim then is currently on lap 9. He's got Killer Corkin starting to slowly catch up on him. Can't quite see him in the mirrors at the moment because they're pointing more towards the sky than behind. And that's actually something that I've been wanting to comment on for quite some time. Not comment on, but mention, right? So I'm going to just quickly change view here and go on to this view for one simple reason, right? People for a few years have moaned about the level of quality. Oh, Jim, that was way too much curb there.
He did
apologise and he's about to get overtaken. Yeah, so these mirrors, I'm going to go on board with Killer Corkin. Oh, I wanted to see that move. It's taken me off Killer Corkin.
We've lost somebody at the hairpin.
I think that was Killer Corkin. No, it's just not letting me ride on board with him.
Well, I'm kind of going past Jim.
Killer Corkin's dropped down. I wonder if he's had a moment at the hairpin. So Conza then moves through into 4th place. Oh, Jim's going back through. Connor went slightly wide and Jim's just gone steaming straight through.
Okay, I'm on board with Killer at the moment. He's got all his wings and all his tyres intact, and he's just tagging on the back of Connor at this point.
I wonder if perhaps he went a little bit deep. I went to ride on board with him. I could see he was going for the overtake, but they wouldn't actually let me ride on board with him. Oh, Jim's taking a little too much curb through turn 3. You're going to have to be careful of that one.
4-letter apology word again. Begins with S, ends in T.
Shot.
That's the one.
Yeah. Okay, I was on about the mirrors, but yeah, people have complained for quite some time with F1 games about the level of quality of the mirrors. Now, let's face facts, reality. How many times do we hear F1 drivers go on about how little they can actually see in the mirrors? Now, Killer Corkin and Connor are both all over the back of Jim here. I think he's going to be a sitting duck down this straight.
I think Jim's tyres might be just on the way out at this point. He wants to do 2 more laps with these yet.
Well, we both know that Jim can be quite aggressive on his tyres, so if I was Jim, I'd be tempted to actually pit now, go straight on and pit. No, he's going for the corner. Killer Corkin pits. Now, that's an interesting call by Killer Corkin. He's going to jump these guys on his stops, depending on how he copes.
Has he gone for the undercut? Because Dom's informed him of when the other driver was going to pit.
Quite possibly. It's definitely
I
not.
apologise to Jim if that's the case.
Yeah. I can't ride on board with Killer Corkin, but we can confirm he is on the prime tyre. Now, yeah, I'm going to get back to my conversation about the mirrors.
Charlie's losing it?
Oh,
he just collected it.
Oh, I've just been told Charlie was losing it, but then just collected it. Okay, I am going to get this story finished about the mirrors, right? People moaned about the lack of visual effect in the mirrors, the lack of quality of the visuals in the mirrors. But as I was saying, how many F1 drivers have we heard going on about, in the mirrors you can't see anything, they vibrate so much you can't see a thing. So the visuals that you can see in the mirrors are actually probably better than what a real F1 driver can see. But also, how many people go on about F1 games should be realistic? It's like, okay, yeah, they should. Right, but then they're moaning about the level of visibility in the mirrors. Well, hang on, what are you complaining about? Oh, Conzo's going for the move, because if the mirrors were realistic, you wouldn't be able to see anything behind you. I will get that story completed, finished. Then Connor's gone for the move. He's gone a little wide, though. Jim May, I was about to say maybe I'll come back at him, but he's had a big tank slapper. But Connor will have had DRS down the start-finish as well, because you do get 2 shots at it. So, yeah, okay, I am going to go back on board now so I can show these bloody mirrors. Right, okay. If the visuals were realistic with the mirrors here, all you would see in those mirrors is side pod.
Yes.
Because of the angle of the camera.
Yes.
So people who complain about the lack of visibility in the mirrors, stop moaning, because actually they've done you a favour.
Yeah.
Okay, right. It only took about 4 laps to get that simple little story out.
Ooh.
No, I've lost connection.
That's not good.
I've been kicked as well.
Ray says he's been kicked as well. Right, Steve's still in.
No, hang on.
Yeah, Steve's still in.
No, race result. That means I've gone.
Okay, you've gone as well. And Jim has.
Lap 12 that was. So do we do a 25% race starting in those positions with a safety car?
That's probably a good decision. Ah, bloody hell. Right, take a screenshot of that. Everyone's got kicked there. No, screenshot.
Oh, shit. Oh, it's because I've changed it. There we go. That's record.
Right, okay. Oh. Right, okay, if you're watching the live stream, just bear with us a moment. We're going to have to get set up again. It looks like what we'll probably do is a 25% race going on the positions that drivers were currently in. It's a bit of a pain that. He seems to have absolutely kicked everybody from that session. And I'm probably going to get kicked from the live stream as well in a moment. So we're going to just reset the systems, and we will get back live in a few moments.
Okay, I've got it.
Okay, so we are back at Montreal for the Front Row Racing World Series. We've had to do a little restart because something unusual happened there. Every single one of us got disconnected there, and that's not something that any of us have actually experienced before. We've had it where 1 or 2 maybe, but everybody all at the same time, no, that's an unusual one.
That's the first.
That is a first. Okay, so what we're going to be doing here then is, because the drivers were 12, 13 laps into the race, it's one of those occasions where we're going to try something new. Which is, we're going to do a safety car restart, but it's going to be on a 25% race. Now, the drivers are going to be in the position that they were in at the point of the disconnections. Which means one driver who pitted just before the disconnections, may feel that they have lost out on an undercut. But as we explained to them, okay, they may have done, but at least they were in 6th position when they pitted, and when they got disconnected, they were in 6th position. So they've gained that gap back up essentially. Now we've put the session onto a clear session because the race was set to be clear by the looks of it, if I remember rightly. And we've also got a qualifying session on. That's just to give the drivers chance to put their setups on. And then we're going to retire from the session, and we'll do a safety car restart. So the grid order that we're going to have is Paul in first, Charlie in second, Adam 4600 in third, Konzo in fourth, My Bad in fifth, Killer Corkin in sixth, Eraser in seventh, Andy Russell in eighth, and Jason in ninth. Okay, so as we wait then for the drivers to retire from the session.
Please retire. Once you're doing your setup, please retire.
Now, one of the things that we will have to be careful of is obviously when the race when they pull off from the lights, we'll have to make sure we get out of the way. But also the drivers just need to take their time to get into position. They're now essentially down into a 18-lap sprint race. And one of the reasons why we've done it, we're going to try this way of doing it is they've done 12 laps, add the 18 laps, that's 30 laps, that's more than 75-80% race distance. And as we mentioned in qualifying, sometimes we do try new things. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. I mean,
not always does everybody agree with it either.
That is true. I mean, at the end of the day, you can't please everybody. I'm sure we all know that. If we've got a partner, you can't please them all of the time. Sometimes you just got a headache and want to go to sleep. Okay, it looks like everyone was waiting for me there. Well, I've got to have time to talk. I mean, Paul says I do talk too much, so I might as well make the most of it, haven't I? Yeah. Okay, so safety car restart then for 18 laps, although it'll be 17 if they can all get into position on this first lap.
Again where they need to be.
Okay, so I'll be quiet and I'll leave Steve to talk to the drivers, make sure they get into position. Don't forget that you're going to need to get out of the way though. Steve.
Sorry.
Don't forget you need to get out of the way. You can't move the car if you're holding a book.
I know, but there'll be a few moments on the grid first.
Go on then.
Okay, I hope all the drivers can hear me. I'm going to quickly go through that driver order again. Position 1, Paul. Second, Charlie. Third, Adam. Fourth, Connor. Fifth, My Bad. Sixth, Killer. Seventh, Eraser. Eighth, Andy Russell. Ninth, Jason.
Now, for anyone that does join our viewing a little late, again, doing a quick little safety car restart. Not ideal, but you know what? We'll stick with it. Although we have said to the drivers, if the same issue occurs, we pretty much will have no choice other than to refer on to next week. Okay, so we're not going to be going racing from the line. Steve and Ray will need to make sure that they can stay out of the way. And the drivers can take their time. Don't retire just yet. We'll give them plenty of time to get away. What we don't want is our admin cars to go piling into them. I'm going to retire from the session now. Okay, Steve's been disqualified. Bloody cheat. Okay, so at the moment we've got Connor in first, and so Paul and Charlie need to work their way up to the front. Paul is also...
Somebody's lost a wing.
Paul is also working his way up to the front.
Paul does have illegal overtakes at this point, but those time penalties will be given back because we're not in the race yet.
Yep. Okay, so the grid order then.
Konzo needs to slow down.
Konzo needs to slow down. Can you?
Yep. Right. Connor, take your time. Just be careful.
Not take your time. Slow the hell down. You're not in first place.
Yeah. Is it because he's got no wing? Alright, we're not starting the race this lap. We're going for a second lap. Go for a second lap under the safety car. Second lap. Connor, because you lost your wing, you'll be starting from the back of the pack.
Right, so that's why Connor was trying to go fast then. He's lost his wing.
Okay.
He's not going to be overly pleased about that one, but...
Take your time, Paul.
Okay, so Paul is now in position. Charlie is in position. Adam's in position, so is Jim now that Connor's dropped back. Killer Corkin has gone into position. Eraser, Andy Russell and Jason. But the drivers will go on for another lap because with Connor losing his front wing, I mean, like I say, he won't be too pleased about that. I mean, I don't know whether he got hit or whether he ended up in the wall on his own volition, but what we do say is with the safety car restarts is that if you do end up with damage and you have to pit, we'll give a bit of a benefit of, we'll give you a chance to catch back up to the pack, but like in real life, you will continue on from the back of the pack.
Okay, he's up behind him now, isn't he? He's not. Yeah, we're going to be going this lap. We will be going this lap.
Okay, Connor is now onto the back of the pack.
Paul's already gone. The leader's gone.
Paul has already bolted. He's wasting no time whatsoever. He's decided, I'm not going to hang about. But
he's having a good giggle to himself.
Jim has got himself up into second place, but you can't overtake before that point. Jim needs to give that position back, really.
Do you want me to tell him to do that?
Yes. Tell Jim he needs to give that position back.
He's going to get back into 5th place, though, hasn't he? Yeah?
No. Well, yeah, he needs to be.
My bad, Jim. You need
4th
to
place.
into 5th position
4th place.
Because you overtook before the safety car line. Thank you.
Okay, so Jim has now given his positions back.
Free to race. Go.
A bit of mayhem there. A bit of mayhem there, but it doesn't matter what happens with the cars ahead. You can't overtake before the safety car line. So Jim has had to concede a couple of positions. Now my curiosity is, where's Connor? He's still in 9th. He's right behind Jason. So Connor's on the prime tyre. Let's have a quick look from the front. Paul's on the options, so Connor's going to be strong at the end. Charlie's on the options.
He's done a pit stop. Could he do the 18 laps on those tyres?
Oh, if he started on the options, he may be able to. Okay, Charlie's in 2nd. Adam is in 4th. Killer Corkin is in 3rd. He's on the prime tyre, so he's going to be strong at the end. My Bad is also on the prime tyre, so he's going to be strong at the end. The drivers have got, and the Razor's on the prime tyre. So
interesting, that.
Andy Russell's on the options. Jason's on the options. I actually expected like Jason to start on the primes, but this means we got a right ding dong potentially heading our way. I said ding dong, not just dong.
Ding dong dong.
But what that does mean is that Paul, who's in the wall, he's going to need to stay out of the wall. What I was going to say was Paul needs to really pull out a massive gap here, because if he doesn't take advantage of this now, there's a few drivers that are going to be coming back at him. Oh, Killer's in the wall. Has he got damage? It looks like everything's intact on that front end. Adam 4600 all over the back of him up the inside into turn 10. Now DRS will be available, but I think Adam will be the one that has it, and we've got a right battle going on behind My Bad as well. Is Adam going? Adam's ahead.
With Charlie. Oh, there we go.
So Adam was ahead, and he's got DRS. So Killer Corkin has lost a position and isn't going to be able to gain. I think My Bad is under attack. No, he's safe for the moment. Now Jim may feel a little hard done by being asked to give those positions back. It's a little bit unfortunate, but given safety car restarts, Adam's taken way too much curb there. You have to be careful of that. The stewards do not like people taking too much curb. A Razor's up to 6th place right behind My Bad. Both of these on the prime tyre, so these could be quick later on. Now I know I picked a Razor as my win for the day. Could he do it? I don't know. Have you double clicked?
Yes.
Okay, just checking. Now, I mean, okay, give your view then, Steve, about Connor. Into the pits, rejoining the back, given the safety car restart, won't be too happy.
But he could benefit in a way, because if he keeps careful now, he's done his pit stop. And I'm wondering whether he actually realises that mentally, because is he still thinking, I need to do a pit stop? Or is he actually thinking, 18 laps, these tyres, maybe?
Possibly. And the thing is, Andy Russell's clipped the wall. The thing is, having started a 50% race, they all would have seen what it suggests for the pit strategy there, which is a one-stop race. 15, 16, 17 on the options, and the rest on the primes.
But, now there's a big but, a big
Is it one that does not lie?
It does not lie. But anyway, because it's 25% race, the tyres degrade, or what's the correct terminology?
Degrade will do.
Yeah. Quicker in a 25% race than they do in a 50% race. So before, you'd have been able to do 12 laps on the options.
Possibly, but when we did the practice around here the other day, I actually did do 15 laps on the options in a 25%er.
Right.
And they were okay for pretty much all of those 15. So could you get those primes to the end? I think with Connor's driving style, potentially yes. The question is though, how far behind the leader is he? Or does he ignore the leader and just focus on these 5 cars that are right ahead of him? Because, excuse me, this could essentially be the battle for second place. I think Paul has had a bit of a moment because Charlie is all over the back of him. Now, Paul had pulled out a fairly big lead, and Charlie is going to try pressuring him, but Charlie does need to keep his lines clean. I'm hearing some strange noises from Ray. Now, he's either getting a prostate examination or he's seen something he wasn't overly keen on.
Oh, it was just Charlie's lines.
Charlie's lines.
Charlie's lines. He's going to get lines, is he, from the steward?
I think he's going to be a new film. Not Charlie's Angels, Charlie's Lines. Oh, Paul's had a dodgy corner there as well. Now, we're on lap 7, which means that the option tyres will now start to feel like they're going off a little bit. So the drivers... this is one of those tracks where the temptation will be to push them hard. But as they wear more, the harder you push them, the more chance of ending up in the Wall of Champions, the Wall of Rookies, or the Wall of Nookies.
Yep.
And that's the last place you want to end up being. Okay, so Paul then about to start lap 8 in the lead. Let's go and have a look what's going on behind. Adam 4600 pulling out a bit on Killer Cork, and so they're 3rd and 4th. Let's see what tyres Adam is on. He's on the options. Killer Corkin is on the options as well. Looks like he may be slowly gaining on Killer. My bad's in the pits. And there was another car as well. Eraser is in the pits. Now, Eraser was on the prime tyres, so he's going for 11 tyres on the options, and that's because he knows that you can do 11 laps easily on the options. And Connor is also in the pits.
So he's got rid of them. I mean,
I wonder if he started on the primes anyway, decided to go on the... if he started on the primes, he wouldn't have been able to get to the end. So he would have had the choice of going on to the options and seeing what he could do, or staying with the primes and then converting later on. Given the situation, that's the best that he could have hoped for. Okay, so that's Connor and Eraser and My Bad all pitted. Jason, who's on the options, started on the options. I think he'll be in the pits fairly soon.
Charlie's in the pits.
I've been told Charlie is in the pits. He is, so he's going to get rid of his option tyres. I think it's going to be a little bit too soon though. I mean, if drivers on prime tyres are pitting now to put options on to the end, they can see that they're going to do 11 laps on them. Charlie's now got 11 on the primes, and I think he's now going to suffer. Killer Corkin has continued on his prime tyres.
I'm interested to see where Killer and Connor are going to end up at the end of this race.
Yes.
Because Connor has gone early for the primes, earlier than Killer. And he's not that far behind him after the case pitted, but he's not going to be that far behind him.
Yeah. I mean, things as well, I mean, brand new options are obviously the faster tyre. Now, worn options can do similar lap times to brand new primes, so there is a chance that Killer could be losing out here. Oh, he's ran a little wide. Now, the best thing Killer can do is actually chuck it into the pits this lap, or like chuck it in, drive it in. Then we've got Adam 4600 ahead of him. He's on the option tyres, currently saying second place. He doesn't necessarily need to pit this lap. He could do one, maybe two more. What's Paul done? Paul has continued on, so he's fairly comfortable with his tyres. Adam 4600 is into the pits. Killer Corkin, I think he thought about going for the pits, but he's gone for another lap. He should have pitted then, really, to be honest. Okay, Charlie's into the pits again.
That's an interesting one.
Twice in 2 laps?
Is that because he just wants to get back onto the options? He must really not like those primes.
He is. He's going on option tyres. No front wing change. He's just cost himself the podium. He's just cost himself second place. Maybe he's thinking, I'll avoid penalties. Well, I don't know about you, but that's baffled me. So
that has surprised me. It really has.
Now, Killer Corkin's up to second then. Adams come out of the pits and is in third place. My Bad is only a corner and a half behind him. And he's got a Razor behind him, who's got Connor behind him. And these guys are going to be quick because Jim is on the option tyres as well. Oh, Jim, that's way too much corner and very much sideways.
He knows he's had a bad corner.
Yeah, it does look like he may have backed off. Yeah, the guys have definitely gained on him there. So these guys are on the option tyres, catching up to Adam 4600, who's on the primes. He may be a sitting duck fairly soon. Now, Razor and Connor are going to have the DRS here, and Paul's got to be in the pits, I would guess, this lap or maybe next lap. So Razor and Konzo both gaining then on Jim, but not enough to actually make any kind of move on him. I just want to go and have a quick look at whether Paul has changed his tyres. No, he hasn't. He's still on the options and he's still going.
He must be aware of that gap that's between him and the car behind.
No, sorry, my mistake. He's on the primes. Sorry, what was you going to say?
I was going to say he's probably just holding that gap steady between him and the car behind. But with Charlie not being in second position now because he pitted again, that gap behind Paul to the car behind him is going to be much larger.
It is. It's going to be huge. Paul can now take it easy and cruise it. My Bad, though, he's got a Razor, a Toro Rosso and a Red Bull, both behind him. Oh, that's beautifully close.
I think what Jim's done there is it's a corner that he had difficulties with last lap. He made sure he got it correct this time, but was a touch bit slow.
That is true. Oh, this is going to get interesting down to the first corner. I think there was a little bit of contact there. That may have slowed the Razor down. It has. Konzo's trying to squeeze his way through, but a Razor keeps his position. But these two have both got DRS again. We're going to end up with a 3 attempted overtake. Hold your breath. Clench your buttocks. Oh, a Razor's taken the corner a bit too much. He's backed off a bit, and now they're both side by side with the DRS drag race down to first corner, and Konzo into fourth place. He has gone wide. He has gone wide.
He's kept it on the circuit just.
So he just manages to keep that position. Whew. A Razor's going to be absolutely gutted there. I mean, fair play to the drivers. They got through the corner without contact with each other.
Yes.
A Razor took too much corner, did not gain any kind of advantage. And we can see, you've mentioned about the tyre wear. Look at the marbles flicking up. There is quite a few of them. And also, is it snowing in Canada? No, it's just the blossom. Okay, we're 12 laps in. So what did you find in Canada this week? Because I bet you'd forgot about that.
I haven't forgotten about that. When I was doing my research for Canada, I came across something.
What was her name?
Her name? How do you know it was a she?
Oh dear, go on. I'm waiting for cons.
Yes, when searching the internet this week for information, I found some information actually.
Wait a moment. I think Razor's going for a move. No, he wasn't quite close enough. I'll try and delay what he's going to show me as much as possible because they're usually bloody horrible.
It was all to do with Miss Canada. There you are.
Oh, hello. I think she's been to the desert a bit too much. She's got a camel.
Yellow flag ahead. Is something happening?
Oh, Race just said yellow flag ahead. I think Jim's may have had a moment because he's got Connor all over the rear end of him now. Jim's really coming under pressure. The problem for these guys is the more these fight, the more Adam 4600 pulls away in second place. Oh, Jimmy! No!
Oh no!
Oh no! We'll have to have a look at that one again afterwards. Oh my goodness me! Connor is out of the race.
Terminal damage.
Yeah.
Oh, Connor, terminal damage. He didn't retire, it was terminal damage. Oh, not how he would have wanted that to go. Jim's lost his front wing. Oh, no. I could be wrong, but it did almost look like Jim perhaps moved across a little bit. Oh, that's such a shame. They were on for a right good battle there. Connor was really working his way back through the field. Okay, so that gives us then Paul out in front, completely comfortable. Adam 4600, second place. Second place for Dodger. I don't think many would expect that.
The last time he finished in second place was when I won Monaco.
Oh, right.
So he has had a second place in the past under his other name of Dodger.
But a few seasons ago, Eraser is in third place.
He thought you'd... I can't get my words out. You were quite correct in commentary from the rear.
His car's not sounding very healthy, though. It could just be the audios, but it doesn't sound too healthy. But he's on potentially for a good result after what would have been a disappointing start for him. I mean, obviously, it's never nice if you get any kind of qualifying penalties or bans or anything like that. But he's made the most of it. And in previous events, he's had some rotten luck. He comes here, starts from the back, currently running in third place, and he can see Adam ahead. Problem is, he's got Charlie behind him.
On quite fresh tyres.
On very fresh tyres, but I think Charlie's still struggling with some of these corners. But looking at another screen here, it does look like he did back off there. And this is one of the reasons why we like the drivers to record their footage, because if we see on the broadcast that they are off the track, we can go, look, okay, can you show us this? Can you show us that? Can you show us this? And they can go, yes, here you go. Look, I backed off. Oh, Charlie's taken way too much corner there again. See, this is where it's a situation where he's putting pressure now on Killer Corkin, but to a degree it could be unwarranted pressure. Oh, Killer, and that's what I'm on about. Killer's now in the wall because he's pushing so hard. So past the scene of the accident from the previous lap.
Adam is only 12 seconds behind Paul.
Well, I think Paul is in that situation now where he just needs to take it easy, cruise it to the end, and Paul wins this race, he's going to open a 20-point gap in the championship standings.
Yeah.
Okay, so Charlie behind Killer Corkin then, not using the slipstream, but he is going to be getting DRS, and I tell you what, Eraser...
He's catching Adam.
He is catching Adam. He's got to be thinking with 3 laps.
But also, we've got Killer catching Eraser. Oh, someone's going for an overtake.
It's Charlie. Charlie then squeezes his way up into 4th place, but Killer Corkin's not giving up on it, and rightly so. Got to give each other room along here, which they are doing. Heading up to turn 3, well, there's no chance Charlie's going to be taking too much corner on the entry on this occasion because Killer Corkin's there. So Killer Corkin then steals back his 4th place.
I was just holding my breath there that Charlie didn't take his usual line.
Don't hold your breath too long, you might fart. Or should I say shart? Okay, so even though these two have had a little bit of a battle, they are still gaining on Eraser. My Bad is now down in 7th place. He's going to be absolutely disappointed with the finishing result there. Jason's on for finishing with a solid 6th place though. Not quite the second that he had in Monaco, but this is a completely different racetrack compared to Monaco. And I think sometimes people find it difficult going from Monaco with maximum downforce and the walls and then coming here, where it's high speed, low aeros.
And walls.
Yeah. Okay, Charlie's right up the rear end of Killer Corkin now. Got DRS. I could see we're going to have a move going up to turn 1. Is he going to go for it? He's looked again, and he's backed out of it. I think that got a little bit too close for him there, but he's not going to give it up. And I tell you what, Eraser is really, really close.
He's lapping about 2 seconds a lap quicker than Adam at the moment.
Ray's just mentioned that Charlie's lost the rear end, so I think Charlie has dropped back. Now, had Charlie been able to gain places and work his way back up into, say, 3rd or 2nd place, you could say his strategy was a fairly decent one.
Yeah.
But it was an odd one.
So what's in the rear end, quite in a couple of corners. So
okay.
Take a moment, shall we?
We will take a while. I was just listening to Ray, who was saying that Charlie is losing the rear end quite a lot now. He's obviously pushed those tyres way too hard. I think Eraser's in DRS range. He may not be. No, he doesn't look close enough. He's not. But he's definitely gaining with 1 lap to go after this one. He could be in range to attack on the final lap to steal second place. Adam's hit the wall.
He's within a second now, just within a second.
He is now just within a second, so he just needs to gain and gain and gain in this lap, and then try and think whether he's going to try and overtake before DRS or wait for DRS. But he's on the option tyres, and Adam 4600 is struggling now with his rear end. Oh, he's clipped the wall again.
I think that was a moment where he's looking in his mirrors to see where the other driver is.
It could quite possibly. He's also clipped the wall again. He knows he's under pressure. There's a chance he could go from second to fifth here.
He's run wide.
He has run wide. He's done a Vettel. There's deliberate contact. They're both off. And guess who's going to try and gain advantage of that? Killer Corkin.
It's all happening on this last lap. We've not even had time to talk about drive of the day.
That is true. We haven't. We'll have to wait on that one, because I'm wondering now what Dom's saying to these two guys. Don't race each other, or just go for it. This is going to be absolute beautiful or carnage. Killer Cork is looking up the inside. A Razor's hit Adam. Now there's contact, and he's spun. No, it's a Razor facing the wrong direction. Now Killer Corkin's off the racetrack. The crowd goes wild, thinking that a Razor is doing a celebratory donut a lap too soon.
Paul's crossed the line as the winner.
Paul has crossed the line.
Given a position back to her.
He has. Killer Corkin has backed off. So those two, oh no, they're not going to finish. Where's Charlie? Charlie has got himself into third place because of that.
His strategy worked.
I'm not so sure about.
We're going to have him on the podium.
My goodness me. It's still not over though. Jason, he's all over the back of Jim. Can he steal a place at the final corners? I don't think he can. He can't. So it'll be Jim in 6th and Jason 7th. I said it was either going to be beautiful or not. Andy Russell.
He crossed the line though.
No. Because Killer and Eraser were in 4th and 5th. Jim was 6th. Jason was 7th. Did Andy Russell get terminal damage?
He did. We did come up saying retired or anything.
No, it's only just done so. But anyway, Paul will celebrate another victory in the Formula Racing World Series with Adam 4600 in 2nd place and Charlie in 3rd place for the provisional podium result. This is going to be potentially an interesting podium interviews here.
I want to know what Charlie was thinking if he was watching Twitch, what he could hear from us talking about his line.
Quite possibly. Well, we can ask him. Okay, quick look at the result here then. Yeah. So Andy Russell didn't make it to the end. Quick look at the race director. Oh, Ray parked in a dangerous location. Andy Russell did destroy his vehicle, I've just been told by Ray. So a few things to look at there. But for an interesting short safety car restart sprint race, so to speak, that was dramatic.
It was all about the last lap.
Connor would not have been happy under the safety car situation. Then he fights his way back, ends up in a collision with My Bad. That ends his race. Adam 4600 up there in 2nd, fighting for his life, goes deep, probably thinks he's lost it on the last lap, and then Killer Corkin and Eraser have a coming together. So you want...
I'm missing Adam, aren't I?
If you not got Adam 4600, go to Players Met.
That's alright, I'll go.
So Ray's going to get him.
Okay.
No, I don't have him, sorry.
No, you don't have him. Okay, I'll have to invite Adam 4600 then. Oh no, sorry, Ray has said he has got him.
I've suggested him.
Yeah, he suggested him. Okay, so as we wait then for the top 3 to join us for the podium interviews, and Paul has joined us now. So Paul, you are live, please don't swear. Can you please stop watching EastEnders, or is that Ray? Can you please make sure that you've got your microphone set to share for us, please? Always allow. So, because if you don't, we don't hear you on the video.
Here you go, you're very happy you can hear me on the video now.
Woohoo. Right, nobody ask him a question.
Why not?
Okay, Adam 4600 has now joined us as well. Adam, if you do have a microphone, can you just make sure that you've got your party settings with always allow to share so that we can hear you?
Where's Charlie gone then?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes. And we're waiting now for Charlie. The invites are going to him. Okay, when we get Charlie in, we'll get on with the questions from what was a very interesting race there. And actually, something we didn't actually discuss, but we'll wait until we've concluded the podium interviews.
D&D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Department of Drivers.
Department of. Yeah.
Okay, so we're still waiting for Charlie. Okay, well, while we do wait for Charlie, we'll crack on with Paul and Adam. Now, Paul, in that first race, the first part of the race, you had Charlie all over the back of you, and we did hear you a few times telling him to basically bugger off. So tell us, what was the difference between that first, like before the safety car restart and after the safety car restart?
I was scared the first one. I was absolutely crapping my pants.
Well, hopefully you had plenty of toilet roll.
Second time I was like, yeah, bye Charlie.
Yeah, in the second one it did look like you were able to pull a gap and
before the safety car line.
Well, yeah, that's true. That was a fantastic decision, actually. On the lap where it's like, okay, you can go, you were gone. You'd gone so much that Jim tried to follow you, overtook 2 cars, and had to give the places back. But that was a fantastic safety car. What was your thinking at that point?
You got to be different nowadays, isn't you?
Oh yeah. That I will admit, that was classy.
Just go back at China. Look what happened.
True. So if you could say anything to Charlie about the safety car restart, what would it be?
Suck it.
We'll apologise on behalf of Paul for his language there, unless he said suck it. But either way, Charlie... Oh, suck it. All right, okay, you didn't swear.
I wouldn't actually swear.
But no, that was brilliant. It was a fantastic restart for yourself there, and a great race. Okay, we're going to move on to Adam 4600 now. Someone who I think I've only actually ever heard talk twice.
He doesn't talk much, does he?
Yep, he doesn't talk much, and he finds himself on the podium. So, Adam, what was going through your mind as you were finding out you were moving slightly further up the grid, and then tell us about that last lap?
The last lap was mental. I can't remember his name. The guy closing, and I just don't close too much. Don't get within DRS range, and I don't know what happened to the hairpin, but I don't know if you saw that, but...
Oh, we did. What happened is you got very lucky, because from our view it looked like you went a little bit deep.
I think you got a rear end nudge.
Oh no, that's right. A Razor gave you a little nudge. That's right. A Razor looked like gave you a little nudge, and then Killer Corkin tried to overtake a Razor, ended up spinning a Razor, and that just freed you up to drive on down and take the second place. So
I got a break there.
Oh yeah, definitely. But your race up to that point is essentially what earned you the opportunity to be in that position. So as the safety car situation went green, and I think you were sat there in 3rd, 4th place, something like that. Might have even been a little further back. Yeah, 3rd place. What are you thinking when you can see that Paul's just bolted into the distance, and then Jim comes past you?
I'm trying to react to Charlie ahead of me, so at that point I don't know that Paul bolted until like half a lap later when I see his icon 2 seconds up the road. But no, I think Killer got me at some point. I got him back at the hairpin. It was a cool race.
It did look like a very, very interesting one. Now we have we are in contact with Charlie. Shall I tell him? Right, we're in contact with Charlie, and he's put, "I'm too shy to talk." So we've asked him for his race comments. I don't know why he's too shy. We've got quite a few questions to ask him, haven't we? Oh, hang on, Paul's phoning him. Tell him not to swear. He's live. Would you like to phone a friend? You know he's not going to answer because he'll be watching the live stream and he's like, I'm not answering that. I'm not answering that. I'm not answering that.
Do you want me to comment for him?
Go on then, you comment for him, Paul. Well, I tell you what, we'll do this properly. Okay, we've got Charlie. He's joined us. So, Charlie, how did your race go?
Disconnected. Hold on, disconnected. Charlie, you need to talk, man. Come on, talk. Talk.
Ask him how his race went.
How did your race go?
What are you asking me for?
Ask him why he pitted for the. Ask him why he put the primes on, and then we're back on to the options.
Does he know about the podium interviews?
He does,
Why
yeah.
did he pit so early?
Pop me back, right?
You are invite, dear. Alright, here we go. Alright.
Okay, send him another invite.
Do you know what? I think he was actually scared when I booted. Why did he pit so early? That's the more thing I want to know.
I think he was reacting to cars around him, wasn't he?
But he did 2 pit stops.
Yeah, but this is what you might not know, Paul. He pitted, put the primes on, and then at the end of that pitted and put the softs on.
Bad idea.
Yeah, I mean that decision. I can kind of see. Oh, he's here. He's joined us. He's joined us now. Okay, Charlie, you're live. Do not swear. Don't be shy. Just make sure you've got your party settings allowed to share.
Welcome to the podium.
And welcome to the podium. Yeah, it's not all. It's not all bad news here. Just if you start getting a nosebleed, just let us know, and we'll let you go and get some tissues.
I mean, this isn't the steward's room. That comes later.
That's true. Okay, I think there's one main question that I would ask you, Charlie, and that is, what happened with your pit stop? Why put primes on and possibly cost yourself that second place to go for the options again?
I come out the pit, so I hit the wall, so I had to pit again.
Ah, okay, that would explain that then. Okay, bit of damage. Yeah, that you're right call to make there, because you get a little bit of damage. If you don't replace your wing, you're going to get more damage. So that kind of explains that one. Okay, so you come out of the pits for the second time and you're in 5th place. What's your thinking at that point?
Well, actually, I was 4th, and then the guy in front of me pitted, and I got a red flag, so I had to stick killer ahead of me when I was ahead of him anyways.
Illegal overtake, yeah.
You should have kept going.
Well,
No, I had to let him through, because I would have got a 10-second penalty.
with the yellow flag overtakes, it depends on whether you feel it's correct or not. If you feel it's unjust, carry on. And if you've got video evidence of it, show it the stewards, because they may give you the time back.
Ah, right, okay.
But if you feel it is
A fair one.
then yes, back off, give the position back.
Yeah. Okay, so anyway, the only other question that I would have is, without swearing too much, what were you thinking when you saw Paul bugger off into the distance when the safety car green light went?
Yeah, he's faster than me.
Well, I suppose that's a good way to look at it.
Charlie, a few swear words coming in your mouth there.
Right, okay, Steve, any questions from you?
For any of the drivers.
Any of the drivers, yeah?
How does Adam feel being on the podium? Because I think it's been quite a while since he's had a finish this high up.
That's a bit harsh.
It's fair. No, last time in 2013 I won in Malaysia and Bahrain, and that's the last time I've been on the podium.
I don't know.
So yeah,
Yeah. That was
quite a long time away. It's good to be back though.
Yeah, that was the season when you finished 2nd in Monaco.
Yeah.
When I overtook you on the last lap.
Oh yeah, you had to stick that in when I overtook you on the last lap, you sneak. Right, okay, we're going to give the co-commentator a ban for that one. Okay then, back to Paul then for final comments. Paul, with Rickster not being able to race today, Richie having his penalty, Connor being involved in a collision which led to him not making it to the end of the race, means you've pulled out a 20-second point lead in the championship.
Yeah, boy.
Is it back on? Is the title fight back on, or are you? I mean, so far this season, I think you've won at least 3 of the races, if not 4.
Well, I think he's either won or he's got turbo damage.
Well, that could be true, actually.
Right. That's bullshit.
Well, I'm not going to comment on that one because you hit that wall a few times in practice.
Right, second or third, you won.
Yeah.
I've been there.
It was a good result and a good race, and also one that earns you driver of the day. Okay. So Paul then takes the victory. Adam 4600 takes second place. Charlie takes third place. I think there'll be a few discussions going on afterwards, perhaps between Paul and Charlie, and also between My Bad and Connor with their collision. Because they'll be gutted about that. And also, I'd love to be a fly on the wall in the Dom team briefing this evening with his 2 drivers sort of taking each other out, because Razor was on for a storming finish.
Well, especially at that point when you said Dom was just probably talking to the driver saying, keep it clean.
That's true, actually. I was, wasn't I? Right, okay. Anyway, right, we're going to bring the live stream to an end then in a few seconds' time. So, Paul, well done, and thank you for joining us on the podium interviews. Adam, congratulations to you, and also well done. And Charlie,
Yeah, well done.
well done for making it to the podium, and also well done for avoiding or overcoming the shyness to come and having a chat with us at the end of the day. It's just a bit of fun. I know he has, but he might be listening on Twitch while he's gone to the bathroom. He got a nosebleed and had to run off quick. That's what it was. Either that or he spotted one of the podium girls, dragged her off, and you won't hear from him for the rest of the night.
Got a bit of champagne in his eye.
Oh, such a good job we don't have any kind of webcam. Actually, you know what? We should do that sometime. Have a webcam on sometime.
Point to the
Yeah. Okay, right. Last thing to mention is tomorrow night from Row Racing we will have the FRRI Days event. That'll be from 7:30. Then next week we've got on Wednesday the World Championship for round 8 at the Red Bull Ring. And Thursday 7:30 it'll be round 8 of this league World Series at 7:30, and then FRRI Days on Friday again at 7:30. Okay, I've been from Row Racing DP. He's been Steve Sherberts,
and also we've had
Rachel Brooks in the pit lane for us. So thank you to everyone. Thank you for watching. We've been from Row Racing, and we'll see you all again soon.